welcome back to Nick Lenz Comic Corner, Classic Class Non-Classic. This is episode number 1263 and Doubleshot number 1157. I have two Marvel trades. One is actually released very recently, and the other one is simply a trade that kind of collects some older issues, but I'll get to it. It's published in a very weird typographic novel. I'm going to get to a couple more of these in the video. Alright, first up is a recent book. Now, this book just started. I think it was just this year this started. I think it was this year? No, yeah, it was actually just this year. And there's actually a recent issue for this series that came out just this week. What book is it? Spider-Woman! Yep, I haven't reviewed this in quite a while. You're probably thinking, wait, when was the last time you used Spider-Woman? Yeah, I reviewed the first two trades that collect Dennis Hopeless's run, which I still haven't finished yet. No, I have. I reviewed his run he had from, I think it was like from 2014 to about sequel. It was a 10 issue volume. I reviewed that, but I didn't review the volume what came afterwards because my local library didn't have it. That's the gist of it. And this is simply put what volume is this one? Let's see. 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, this is volume 7. Yep, volume 7. Oh, and this is basically collecting the first 5 issues. And this I thought was really, really weird. Okay? Apparently the 5th issue is the 100th issue of this comic book. I'm like, really? How the heck is that even possible? Because I calculate the way they calculate if I look online, apparently, they include the original volume of Spider-Woman, which was 50 issues. They included the third volume, which included Maddie Franklin. Okay. That brought up to about 68. Okay. You included the 7-issue brief run that Brian Michael Bendis did. Okay. So that brought it to about, let's see, first was 68 plus 7. That's about 75. Okay. They apparently, I think, also include the Spider-Woman Origin miniseries. Yeah, they included that, which was 5 issues. That brought it to I think it was 80. Yeah, it brought it up to 80. They also included the giant-sized Spider-Woman part of the numbering. Okay, that brought it up to 81. Alright. So, 10 issues brought it to about 91. Yeah, it's kind of weird of how in the world they explain this. Because it's kind of weird. I'm happy the fact the series had a 100 issue. Because here's a good question for you. What was the last female superhero comic book at Marvel Comics to have a 100 issue? The answer is, that I can think of, I think it was Carol Danvers was the last one that had one. And that was a few years ago. For Spider-Woman, it's quite surprising that she would consider to be having one. Yes, it is quite weird, the fact they included this. Yeah, it's just so bizarre, the fact that they would actually give her 100th issue, because the very first one, not counting the Miss America series, because that was a magazine, which most of focus more on Patsy Walker than Miss America. The very first one people can think of is She-Hulk. Yes, She-Hulk was the first one in recent times to actually have a 100th issue. Then Carol Danvers got it, and now it's Spider-Woman's turn. Well, my personal opinion on this is the fact that, Marvel has had this really big issue of allowing their female superhero titles to last for a good period of time, because a lot of the time these series are very short-lived, and they get canceled way too quickly, either to low sales, or the fact that Marvel just didn't freaking care about their female superheroes. But I'm happy the fact in the last several years that female superheroes have basically not only become popular, but the fact these books actually last for a good period of time. A case in point of a comic book that's actually lasted still, which actually last issue ended just last month, believe it or not, after the book had been publishing for 7 years. What book was that? The Camilla Comics Marvel book. Yep, after 7 years, they ended the title. Why? I don't know why they did. It's quite weird. Though I wouldn't be surprised about the character back, give her own series again. Now, as for why Jessica Drew's got a series now, it's just quite odd. I mean, the last time she got when she originally got, basically she got a series for Spider-Verse. Okay, because, well, she's a known character, so give her own title. Okay, fine. But this was actually quite interesting. Now, as far as I know, there was no backdoor pilot to this series. It just, we have a new Spider-Woman title. Okay. Oh, I should also point out, though, the logo for Spider-Woman, yeah, that's the classic logo that she's had since the 70s, which I do appreciate that Marvel kept that for her. This costume she wears on this cover here, that's her original costume. Up until the last few years, she wore this costume. This is the only costume she wore. And then she switched to a different outfit, which I like the outfit. And now she's got a new outfit, which is on the back of the cover. This is her current attire. Which I'm looking okay, it looks like, though, that she just kind of gave her, regular modern day update, where they put a lot of black in the costume, and they gave basically kind of they still kept the red, but basically, it's almost like they gave her, they make it a lot like Spider-Man's costume in the way if it was black mixed with red. But this is a new look they gave for her. Which, okay, it's actually a pretty interesting look for her. And they still kept the yellow in the look, which is quite nice. The logo looks way too much like Spider-Man's costume. Almost like some people might mistake this costume. Now, the mask looks exactly the same as the original mask, except for just different coloring. That's all they did was they changed the color from red to black. That's the simple gist of it. And they changed her logo from, well, basically this upside down triangle to this. I mean, it's still there. She still has the logo, but they add basically, because she's a spider person, give her a more spider-like costume. As for the gilded wings she had, basically, yeah, those underarm things, yeah, that was something also that the Ditko designed for the character back in the 60s. But the thing is, Spider-Woman was not created by Steve Ditko. Nope. She was created by... They actually listed here. I don't remember who actually created her. So in these issues, she finds out that her mother is alive. The book starts off with, believe it or not, her on a job with this current costume. And then we flash back to her part of Strike Force, where she's wearing this outfit again. Yeah, she was actually part of Strike Force, believe it or not. The book itself has been canceled after 10 issues. Yeah, as far as I can tell, the reason why that book got canceled, the pandemic. That was the reason why they canceled it. But they kept this title around. Yeah, they kept this book. Yeah, as a matter of fact, this week was actually the release of the 8th issue of this run. Yes, 8 issues. Yeah, that's quite surprising, 8 issues. So, she talks to her boyfriend, the second porcupine. Yep, she's there with her son, which... Let me bring up something about her son. By the time Hopeless finished up his run back, I think it was 2017, the one big question that a lot of people asked about Jessica Drew's baby, who the father was never answered. Yes, I am not kidding about that. They never bothered to answer the freaking question of who the heck is the father of... Who the heck is Gary Drew's father? Yeah, I'm like... It's kind of weird. Okay, I'm glad the fact they still kept the writer of this book, which is Carla Pacino. They kept the fact she's a mother. Good job. Thank you for that. Did not get rid of the baby. And thank you for also keeping the fact she's in a relationship with a former supervillain. Yes, that was something Dennis Hopeless set up, which I love the fact they kept that. That was so good. Thank you for keeping that, because that was something I enjoyed. Those are a few things I enjoyed about Dennis Hopeless's run. And this kind of feels like a semi-continuation of that, which is good job on the part of that. So, this also kind of feels like basically referencing the Spider-Man Origins series, and harkens back to the old classic 70s series in a way, basically back to a classic origin story, which is, by the way, back in Marvel Spotlight number 32, which was, at the time, believe it or not, the last issue released for the book. Which is not in this book, by the way. It was actually, they recollected it as part of the first trade that collected the 2014 run. Yeah, they collected the first trade in that. They put it in there, which, good job. I like the fact that they did it because I'm sure a lot of people nowadays probably never read the issue. So, thank you for, I mean, it's not in here, which don't really need it because we don't need to know her backstory again. Now, I get the reason why I did it for 2014 when the first day collected that because, well, maybe some people didn't probably read the issue before, so they threw it in there, which, good job for that. This book mostly has references to Spider-Man origin, which is simply sort of a modern retelling of the classic origin story of Spider-Woman, where they kind of makes a little more Hydra in her backstory than the original story did, because everything has to be connected to anything bad has to be connected to freaking Hydra. Because of course it has to be. And yes, at one point Spider-Woman was an agent of Hydra, though she later became agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. She's not currently agent of it now. There's also basically talked the fact that they're basically that she and her boyfriend are suffering through money troubles and she needs a job. Like, okay, I'm not doing private security. I'm like, she's an Avenger. Why not just become part of the Avengers team? Or I don't know, like maybe get hired by Tony Stark because he's freaking rich. Maybe he can give you some money. Being not only like a security guard per se, basically just protect like her, like one of his facilities. You could do that. Nope. Like we haven't basically survived an explosion on a boat, which, yeah, even though this is something else, nothing to do with that. So they go to meet up to Wendigo Mountain. Yes, the place that is the home of the High Evolutionary, which, by the way, he is not here. Though he did show up in the recent issue. Something this book can building up toward Spider-Woman meeting the High Evolutionary, which I don't think she's ever met him before. No, not that I can think of. She never met him in the original run. Yeah, that's kind of weird. So she finds out her mother is alive, but it turns out this is not actually her mother. It's some duplicate her brother made. Yes, her brother, who's got a girl. Yeah, she's got I like the fact that her niece referred to as Aunt Jess, and she says Jess is fine. Though I didn't like that little factoid because, like, not call her aunt. Basically, I mean, the way I grew up is the fact that I always call my aunt and uncle Aunt whatever name or uncle whatever name is. That's how I grew up. That's how I basically did things. But her not calling her Aunt Jess is kind of, in a way for me personally, kind of disrespectful. I didn't like that at all. I still think I didn't like about this book. But this book is just pure fun and thoroughly enjoyable. I kind of wish that she and Miles Morales would have a team-up story because they have similar powers. They both have freaking Venom Blast. Because there she is, Venom Blast on the cover. This book is good. Give this book roughly a 9.5 out of 10. Damn good book. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I can't wait for the next volume. Yeah, this is something that this book just started just this year. And the book has only released 8 issues this year. Well, there was a reason for that. The pandemic. That's the reason why only 8 issues were released in just about a year. Alright. Next up is kind of a weird one. This is Miss Marvel meets the Marvel Universe. Now, compare the size of this trade to this. This is almost like a digest trade, but it's still the same stories. Now, I had previously reviewed the Miss Marvel. Now, this book collects Miss Marvel 6-9, 7-18 of the third volume Miss Marvel, which was her first volume for the series. S.H.I.E.L.D. number 2. This is, of course, Mark Waid's run. Mugen and Double Dynasty number 10. Champions number 1. Amazing Spider-Man number 7-8. And Free Comic Day 2015 Avengers. Yeah. Now, 6-9 is simply Kamala team with Wolverine. This, of course, is prior to his death. Him wearing this odd looking costume. Yeah, it's Wolverine wearing this attire. Yeah, he wore this outfit during his last fight before his death in 2014. That's the whole story with that. In 17-18, so with basically Carol Danvers, her idol. For S.H.I.E.L.D. number 2, it's her guest starring and teaming up with the cast of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Mugen Devil Dinosaur, it's just her team up with Moon Girl. It's a good one-shot story, and it kind of ends on a cliffhanger, which I'm like, now, this issue felt completely random, Like, I think she showed up at the end of issue 9, which I'm surprised they threw it in here. Yeah, I thought it was kind of weird. Now, Champions, just the first issue of the run, and they put it at the end of the book after the Avengers one, which I thought was nice. The Amazing Spider-Man one, I still believe, in the last 5 years, this is one of the best team-up stories I have ever seen. Because I love the chemistry of Miss Marvel and the original Spider-Man. And I'm glad of the fact for the revived Marvel team-up series that came out a couple years ago, her first team-up was with Spider-Man, which was a great team. And I love the fact that, like, if they wanted to basically force the whole mentorship, have her basically be mentored by Spider-Man. Because he is the original teenage superhero. Yep. But none of these issues are bad. No. Is this book necessary? Well, if you're curious still about her team-up stuff before she got the Marvel team-up series, I do recommend checking this out. Mainly if people are fans of Kamala Khan. And also, yes, in the book they do have her meeting with the Inhumans. I believe it's in issue 9, I believe it is. Yes. Where they have her meet the Inhumans for the first time, which is quite interesting. Book is good. Get the book roughly a 10 out of 10. It's good. Oh, I forgot to mention for this the artwork in this book. Now, Calabachi is who's writing for this Spider-Man book, but the artwork is by Perry Perez. Book is called Bad Blood. I like saying that. Make them a grandiose. Oh, if you're curious to how much the book was, I got this book today. This book was $15.99, which not surprising because Spider-Woman herself may popular character, but she's not that pop. She's not as big as, let's say, she's not as big of a name as, let's say, Spider-Man or Carol Danvers Miss Marvel. So her book costs $15.99. In my opinion, perfectly acceptable. Not much problem with that. Now, I would say review the first episode for Quintessential Quintuplets, but I decided to pass on it because basically I wanted to focus on today trying to finish up Picard Season 1, which I did. I finished it up. It was a really good season. I'm going to probably talk about it at a later date. Maybe tomorrow because it's getting kind of late right now because I got to work tomorrow. But yeah, so tomorrow, expect to see probably a review on Picard. Because I thoroughly enjoy it, I'm going to do a review on it, so why not? I'm also a review for Case Closed and Quintessential Quintuplets. So expect presumably about 3 videos, maybe 4 if you're lucky. Yep. But see you next video. Bye.